Kurt, how you doing, man?
Great. How you doing? All right.
Oh, we're doing great, man. Thanks for hopping on with us today. How's everything been going, man? It's been a busy time for you. What's been up, my friend?
Yes, just a lot of time with family, with everything going on with the coronavirus. So it's been a interesting year.
It sure has, but a lot going on. Good for you. We're going to get into some of that. And I got to ask you because, for me, Kurt, I try to eat healthy. I try to do the right things. I try to stay in shape, but it never really works out. I just got off of a road trip where I was eating 3D Doritos at every stop. But tell us about physicallyfit.com, because how did you get involved with this? And tell us about the Chxn Snx, because that's exactly what someone like me needs, because you get the crunch, you get the protein, and best of all, there's a bunch of different flavors. Sriracha is my favorite. I'll eat sriracha anything. Tell us about the website and kind of how people can check it out.
Well, these are the products. They're called Chxn Snx. We have them in chicken, made from chicken breast, and the other ones are plant protein, organic plant protein. These are Chxn Snx. The other ones are Snack Smart. You can get them at physicallyfit.com. They come in 11 flavors. They're engineered, they're high protein, low carbohydrate. They're engineered from chicken breast and organic plant protein. And we made them into a Chex Mix type of texture. The flavors are incredible. People that are going to try them, that already have tried them, love them, absolutely love them. It's a great product. I started the company a couple years ago, and we're doing good. We're doing well.
That's awesome to hear. You also recently started your own podcast with the legendary Conrad Thompson called The Kurt Angle Show. So far, you guys have covered topics like your encounter with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 19 and just your start in the business. What's it been like for you kind of reliving some of these moments and topics on the podcast?
It's been great. Having reminders of my past and talking about it, it's been really cool to do it. I wanted to start a podcast to make a difference in people's lives. I talk about my story, a lot of it good, a lot of it bad. If I can help just one person out, that would be worth it.
Yeah, and I think that people are really enjoying it so far. I think it's the number one wrestling podcast out there right now, which says a lot considering, what Conrad's got going on, man. And so I hope everybody will check it out through Westwood One. It's on all the podcast apps. I've been really enjoying it. And in fact, recently you talked about your final match at WrestleMania 35. You did a deep dive on that. So if people want to check that out, be sure to check out that episode on the podcast. But you kind of talked about how you feel like that wasn't maybe the best way to go out for you. You wrestled Baron Corbin, who's near and dear to our hearts because he played football right up here at Northwest Missouri State here in Missouri, which is really cool. Really like Baron. But, for you, your body was kind of beginning to fail. How do you look back at that situation now that we're almost 2 years removed from that final match?
Well, it wasn't a bad match. It was very short. And, it was more of a thank you from the company for what I've done in the past. And it was supposed to be a match with Jason Jordan, my so-called son, on TV. And what happened was Jason got hurt and Baron took his place. And we were doing a program. I wasn't supposed to retire at WrestleMania 35. I was supposed to continue on. And I decided to retire because my body just wasn't holding up. I just wasn't able to perform at the Kurt Angle level that I'm used to. So I told Vince I wanted to retire and I wanted John Cena as my retirement match. And Vince said, you can have him next year, but you got to go with Baron Corbin this year because we've had a 6-month program going on with him and we have to continue it. So I said, no, we'll just make Baron Corbin my retirement match. And Baron was great. He's a great athlete, great wrestler. He's done a lot since then, so I don't regret wrestling him at WrestleMania. He just wasn't my choice.
Yeah, I understand that for sure. But Kurt, we're a sports show here. You're a Pittsburgh guy, big Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and the team is bringing back Big Ben yet again. He had some trouble with his arm strength we noticed last year. Of course, he had the Tommy John surgery in his elbow. Are you okay with this, or was it time for the black and gold to kind of move in a different direction?
Honestly, I love Ben, so I'm all for him coming back another season. He had a good season last year. It was pretty strong. It wasn't too bad. I mean, it wasn't his best season, but from a numbers perspective, he did pretty well. So I think that he still has it in him, and I think he wants to go one more year, and I don't blame him. And I think the Steelers owe that to him. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting for sure. We're in Kansas City, Kurt. We just attended Super Bowl 55 in Tampa, so we're still licking our wounds a little bit from that one, man. Do you ever get to Ever see Patrick Mahomes? Are you a fan of a guy like his? Who else do you like watching in the league, man?
Oh my gosh, Patrick's the best quarterback in the league. He's phenomenal. If he goes at this pace, he'll be the greatest of all time. I think that eventually he may pass Tom Brady. It's just a matter of putting in the years like Tom Brady did. Nobody is able to go over 20 years as a quarterback in the NFL. Tom Brady is an impressive individual, and if Patrick Mahomes can have 15 seasons, I think that he could be considered the best.
Well, Kurt, I want to bring this up because I was a youth wrestler back in the 90s, kind of really a golden era for that, and grew up idolizing guys like Kenny Monday, Dave Schultz, certainly you after watching the Atlanta Olympics in 96. I even bought one of those Team USA singlets, and I would like to psych out my opponents because like nobody had those back in the youth days in the 90s. Just when you see the sport of amateur wrestling and specifically youth wrestling kind of back then versus where it is today, kind of where do you see it in the grand scheme of things right now?
Well, I think we have one of the best USA teams ever right now. We are very strong. We have a strong lineup, and I think that the next Olympics, they're going to do extremely well. The best Olympics that we've ever performed in was the year I won the gold in 1996. We had, I believe, 6 medals, 3 gold, a bronze and 2 silvers, or a silver and 2 bronze. And we did extremely well. And I think that this team now recently is going to be better than that team. That's how good they are.
That's going to be exciting to watch that and kind of see how they progress. But Kurt, we've seen AEW gain quite a bit of momentum here the last few years with many former WWE greats migrating down there. Chris Jericho, the Rhodes Boys, Sting, now Christian. Would you be intrigued by going to AEW should an opportunity present itself?
I don't count anything out, but I don't plan on it. I'm retired and I want to continue to be that way. I'll never go back and wrestle, maybe on TV personality for WWE or any other company. But right now I'm good where I am, and I'm okay with it. I've retired and stepped away and just need to breathe a little bit because I've been in the business for so long that I got a little burned out.
Well, Kurt, I got to ask you about the 2011 movie Warrior, which I'm a huge fan of. To me, like I tell people this all the time that haven't seen it, it's like Rocky for kind of the current times here. It's kind of an MMA movie. And you played, of all people, the Russian Koba in that film, but very intimidating, and you played the part great, but you got to really have a physical altercation there with Brendan in the film, played by Joel Edgerton. Just kind of talk about your experience working on that film and kind of what it was like playing this role of this Russian badass, kind of akin to Ivan Drago in Rocky IV.
It was a lot of fun. I wasn't cast for the part. I went in for an interview and rehearsal and tried out. And I went to an MMA club in Pittsburgh, and that's where they were having the casting calls. And the director, Gavin Conner, absolutely loved me. He said, "Can you lose 35 pounds?" Because he asked me how much I weighed. And I said, "I weigh about 225. He said, "Well, the weight class is 185. So we're going to have to get you down to like 195, 190. And I said, "That won't be a problem." So I lost the weight and got the part. And I had a speaking role in it. I'm not sure why they took it out. I had to learn Russian. It was really hard. But they decided not to put it in. I'm not sure why, but I thought I did pretty well with it. But I think they just wanted me to be mute the whole movie, and I would be more imposing, So I think that my character wasn't supposed to speak.
It was, and it worked. Have you seen the show on Netflix, Warrior, with Frank Grillo? Kind of a similar movie. Have you seen that show?
No, but I'm a big fan of Frank. He was in.
Oh, you got to watch it, Kurt. It's great.
He did extremely well. You talking about Boss Level or?
That was the new movie. His show on Netflix is called Kingdom.
Kingdom. That's right. I thought you said Warrior, so I got mixed up.
Oh, sorry. Yes, Kingdom on Netflix.
Yes. I saw an episode. It's a great show, and Frank is a very talented actor.
Oh, he's great
too. He's phenomenal. We keep in touch, so I'm very good friends with him, and he's phenomenal.
Dude, he's a badass. He's almost
Yes.
60. He looks amazing.
Yeah, he does. He's in awesome shape, and he trains every day. He does a lot of boxing and, trains in the gym quite a bit. He keeps his body in tip-top shape.
Absolutely. Kurt, can you give us a little sneak peek? Any topics coming up on the podcast that you can give us some insight to?
Well, I just did my rookie year for the podcast, and I just did WrestleMania 22 in Chicago, my main event match with Rey Mysterio and Randy Orton. We just filmed that today. It'll be out Wednesday on adfreeshows.com. So if anybody's interested in seeing it, go there or go where all podcasts are aired, and you can sign on to the Kurt Angle podcast.
I want to say that my first memory of you, and I couldn't find any research on this to see if it was just my crazy erratic brain remembering this right or not. But both Noah and I were in attendance there at Over the Edge 99 in Kansas City, where Owen Hart tragically died. But I want to say that you were in a dark match on that show. Were you there in Kansas City at Kemp Arena for that?
Yes, I was there. I had a dark match with Owen, I believe, 5 days prior to that.
Oh, wow.
Right before.
I didn't know that.
I might have been his last match before that occurred. It was on SmackDown, and it was a Tuesday. It was the 5 days before the pay-per-view, and we had a phenomenal match. Owen carried me the whole match because I just started out. I didn't know anything. I didn't know any psychology. I barely knew the moves. And Owen talked me through it. He was a real pro, one of the best of all time.
Yeah, and I think maybe at that Over the Edge, you might have worked with maybe Midian in that dark match. It was someone like that, maybe. So I definitely have a wow. If that's the case, then I feel pretty good about the fact that the old memory isn't quite failing yet. But Kurt, tell us kind of how you're doing physically. I know that, as you've described it kind of on your podcast, is that your neck has kind of always been like a duct tape situation on through the years, trying to just put masking tape on a bigger issue, which is eventually you'll have to have a much bigger neck surgery. Kind of what's the status of that? When do you foresee that occurring? Is it something you can kind of live with for quite a few more years? What are you doing there?
What I'm doing now is working. I'm doing a lot of neck rehab. I got a product called a piece of machinery called the Iron Neck, and it builds your neck up and does wonders for your neck. I do neck traction, anti-gravity, a lot of neck stretches, get my mobility going. So it's been working extremely well. So I think the surgery, I might not have to have it. I thought I would. And if I do, I'm going to have 4 levels fused, which is, anything more than 2 levels, you can't do anything physical as far as wrestling in the ring or anything like that, or competing. But I decided not to have it, and I'm going to work on the rehab and see how that goes for a while.
Excellent. Well, kind of looking back at your career here as we kind of put a bow on this, and we can't thank you enough for your time, man. When you look back, you're a WWE Hall of Famer, one of the most natural athletes that ever stepped in a ring. But do you ever have any regrets, considering I know there was a point in time that you maybe wanted to go back and try to go for another gold medal in the Olympics? Do you kind of regret that, or do you look back and kind of things played out exactly how you would have planned it, or does it still kind of stick at you a little bit, maybe 2000 or 2004, those Olympic Games?
No, I knew after the Olympics that I was done. I broke my neck before the Olympics, and I wrestled in the Olympics with it broken, and I got through. I did, whatever I could to win the gold medal, and I was successful at it. And I just knew that at that point, I wanted to do something else more athletic oriented. And I knew I didn't want to continue to do amateur wrestling. So I started watching WWE and got hooked right away. Started watching early 1998, and by the end of 1998, I was signed with the company. So I took that leap, and I don't regret it. I was really happy with my career in WWE.
Well, Kurt, it's just been a true honor, my friend. Thanks again. Stay safe and stay healthy, man, and enjoy. I think your son's got a track meet here today, man. That's awesome. What's his event? What's his best event?
He does the 400 and the 800.
Wow.
He's a good sprinter,
Nice.
but he likes the long distance. He just does better with that.
That's awesome. Well, enjoy it. We'll catch you soon. We'll definitely catch you on the Kurt Angle Show and at physicallyfit.com. Some great products there. Definitely got another round of the Sriracha chicken snacks coming, man. So thanks a lot, man. We'll talk soon.
All right. Anytime. Take care, guys.
You bet.
You too.
Thanks,
Best
Kurt.
of luck to your son. It's been an honor.
Thank you. Take care.